In every century, there are events history documented, but never fully explained. Ships found abandoned, colonies that vanished, investigations that ended without answers. Meridian Files examines the records, the evidence, and the unresolved cases that remain. This is Meridian Files. In a forgotten valley, surrounded by mist-shrouded hills in an undisclosed region, sits a village that time intentionally left behind. The locals live quiet, superstitious lives. At the very edge of this settlement stands an abandoned house. The villagers refuse to look at it, let alone enter it after sunset. It wasn't the rotting wood or the crumbling foundation that kept them away. It was the stories of what happened to the light inside. Decades ago, a traveling merchant named Ibrahim passed through the valley. Exhausted and seeking shelter, he ignored the villagers' warnings. "Leave before the sun goes down," the village elder had pleaded. But Ibrahim, a man of logic and commerce, laughed at their fears. As dusk fell, he pushed open the heavy wooden door. The air inside was instantly freezing, smelling of ancient dust and damp earth. He set his belongings down, struck a match, and lit a rusted oil lantern. A warm, flickering glow pushed back the oppressive darkness. He sat at the table, eating a meager meal, watching his shadow stretch long and distorted across the peeling, water-stained wallpaper. For hours, the night was silent. But as the clock approached midnight, the ambient temperature plummeted. The lantern flame began to struggle. Ibrahim rubbed his hands together for warmth. That was when he noticed the impossible. When he moved his hands, his shadow on the wall did not move. It remained perfectly still, frozen in the posture he held moments before. Panic set in. He stood up slowly, his heart pounding in his chest, knocking his chair back. The shadow remained seated. Then, the impossible became a nightmare. The shadow slowly lifted its head, turning its featureless silhouette toward him. There was no object casting it. The lantern flickered violently, casting erratic light, but the shadow stood firm, independent, and aware. The next morning, the village was awakened by the bright sun. A search party cautiously approached the abandoned house to check on the traveler. They found the door wide open. Ibrahim's belongings were untouched. The lantern, now completely empty of oil, sat cold on the table. But Ibrahim was nowhere to be found. No tracks led away from the house. There were no signs of a struggle. However, as the sunlight hit the far wall, the villagers saw it, scorched deeply into the plaster, dark as pitch. A single permanent shadow, standing perfectly still, waiting, they say, for the next traveler to take its place. To this day, the house remains standing, and the shadow remains on the wall. The case was closed. The debate was not. Documented, investigated, unresolved.